Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we've got, once again, another great article from Bounding into Comics. This time talking about recent shade, the most recent shade thrown by Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, in Disney's direction. Now, of course, we all know that, Mark Hamill himself is a very political person and has made his political thoughts very well known on Twitter. And we talked about this on the stream the other day, where I honestly think that if you're going to have a profile, and obviously this is something that only you can choose for yourself, but I feel like if you're going to have a public profile where you're going to be updating people on movies and things like that, which is most reasons why people follow you in the first place, I think that it should therefore be a free place, or a place free of your politics, your, basically agendas, etc. Because honestly, I think that you should have two separate ones, right? One for your own, political rantings, and one for what people usually follow you for, which is information about movies you're in or thoughts that you might have about just life in general rather than specific political points. But again, that's something that all of us need to decide for ourselves. But Mark Hamill has also made it very clear in interviews and on Twitter how he feels about the current state of Star Wars, even though sometimes it seems like he's speaking in some type of coded messaging. It could be nothing at the end of the day. It could just be him having fun, which I think many people will try and argue. But I really do think, especially when you dive deeper into his interviews, that he's got some issues with not only Rian Johnson's portrayal of Luke Skywalker, but also the current state of Disney Star Wars as well. And I'm really glad that John F. Trent has been able to compile a list of not just things he said on Twitter, but also what he said in his interviews, because it really does, I think, say and speak volumes. So anyway, Star Wars icon Mark Hamill took aim at Disney's Star Wars sequel trilogy. He took to Twitter to respond to the official Star Wars Twitter account, sharing the top 10 Luke Skywalker quotes. Hamill mockingly revealed the 11th top Luke Skywalker quote from The Force Awakens. As you can see below, it's blank because Luke Skywalker didn't have any lines in The Force Awakens. And to me, that's amazing. I mean, whether or not he's got an agenda behind that, whether or not he's trying to call Disney out, it's just hilarious, the fact that he has the empty quotes for The Force Awakens for his role that had none, because it just reminds everyone, that's right, Luke Skywalker, that was featured pretty prominently as being in the movie, all of a sudden only got 5 seconds on screen and he didn't say a damn word. So it just reminds you of just how stupid The Force Awakens ending really was, especially when you think about what movie it led to in The Last Jedi. Adding fuel to the fire, Hamill also liked a response to his initial tweet showcasing a meme of Luke Skywalker telling Disney, "This is not going to go the way that you think." Awesome that Luke himself liked that, because that is freaking hilarious and awesome. Hamill's been outspoken about Disney radically altered Luke Skywalker's character in the sequel trilogies. And now we dive into the actual quotes themselves here of what he has said. Also, one of the things he recently said was he described the so-called cow milk that he had to drink, which was just, again, one of the dumbest things in The Last Jedi, one of the many. He says that it was gag-inducing, that it was disgusting, sickly, sweet milk dyed blue is how he described it, which, again, makes you ask the question, well then, why in the hell was it in there in the first place? It was completely unnecessary, except because I imagine when Rian Johnson was coming through this, and he was talking with Kathleen Kennedy, and he was talking to the other people involved, they said, oh, we can market that. Oh, when we have Galaxy's Edge open up, guess what we can have? We can have the same blue milk on sale, only we'll actually make it good and delicious, and we'll make it something that people actually want to buy, versus, of course, making poor Mark Hamill have to drink something that tastes like crap. But he also said this in March. He said, I just thought, Luke's never going to see his best friend again. You look at it in a self-centered way. I said, it was a big mistake that those three people would never reunite in any way. And trust me, Mark, all of us feel the exact same way. All of us are pissed that we will never get the big three together on screen ever again. I'm sure they're going to try to. I really honestly think episode 9, they're going to try to do that, but it's going to be, of course, through Force Ghost or something to that effect, which is not the same thing. But I think that's the biggest mistake, and that was J.J. Abrams, not Rian Johnson, who made that mistake of not giving the opportunity for those characters to be on screen together once again. And I know that they might say, oh, but we wanted to tell a better story. And had you told an amazing story, people would have forgiven you for that. People would have said, hey, I would have loved to have seen that. I can dream, right? But at the very least, you gave me an incredible story with incredible characters that I care much more, that I care so much about, and so I can let it go. But that, of course, didn't happen, right? We didn't get that. Instead, we got The Last Jedi. Instead, we got Rian Johnson continuing to troll Ooh, man, I'm falling all over the place. To troll the fans even up until today. And that is something that I think all of us are never going to forget, because all of this stuff must be taken in context. And when you add in context to the fact that it's never going to happen and they're never going to reunite, and you think about what came instead, it just makes you even more mad. I guess I was wrong because nobody seems to care. I have to stipulate that I care, but it didn't really seem to affect the larger audience. Luke, Han, and Leia will never be together again, and I'll probably never get to work with Harrison again. Trust me, the fans notice, Mark. I would say, in all honesty, true fans notice, and that includes both people that are fans of the current state of Star Wars and those that are critical of it. Because I think anyone that's for some reason is still a fan of The Force Awakens and even The Last Jedi can at the very least say, oh no, that should have happened. That was a mistake. I think that most of us can come together, especially in the wake of, especially in the wake of Carrie Fisher's death, that we can say, no, it really should have happened because we didn't obviously know we were going to lose Carrie Fisher. But now that we do live in a world without her, unfortunately, we look back and say, you know what, maybe we should have had it because it would have been really cool to have nonetheless. So no, we feel right there with you, man. We think and feel the exact same way you do. He then goes on and says, then the second thing was they killed me off. I thought, oh, okay, you should push my death scene off to the last one. That's what I was hoping when I came back. No cameos and run of the trilogy contract. Did I get any of those things? Because as far as I'm concerned, the end of 7 is really the beginning of 8. I got one movie. They totally hornswoggled, tricked me. Now, that is something that I think speaks volumes too. The fact that in his contract alone, he was said, oh, you're going to get this. And then when they actually made the story, they obviously forgot part of that contract. Dude, I would say this much. If you really honestly cared, you could probably have a fight against them. And you know that me and other people like me will gladly support you in taking on Disney because they are an evil corporation that needs to be taught a lesson. Needs to be taken down a peg, for sure. He goes on and says, finally, they had me walking by 3PO, not even acknowledging him. I said, I can't do that. He, the Last Jedi director, Rian Johnson, said, okay, go over and do whatever. What kind of direction is that? You're going to have Luke Skywalker going past C-3PO and not think to yourself, oh, they haven't seen each other in a long time, or, oh, there's a special relationship there. Let's have a moment. Instead, your actor comes to you and says, hey, how about this? And your response is, oh, yeah, okay, we'll do whatever. Great job, Rian Johnson. Man, I'm so glad that you have that trilogy. Can't wait to see what happens with that. So when I went over and I did whatever, they say it in the script, forget the past, kill it if you have to, and they're doing a pretty good job. And of course, this is a quote that's been around for a very long time. This is a quote that the Phantom Menace always goes back to because there is so much truth to it. They truly are, in so many ways, trying to kill the past. But it's so funny that they've now realized, when it's way too late, that they can't completely kill the past. Because guess what? Fans still like the past. Fans still like the original characters. Fans still like some of these concepts, some of these places. They've learned that the hard way with Galaxy's Edge, where they said, oh, we'll do something new and different. We will completely kill the past and just have like one main ride, the Millennium Falcon ride, and it'll be great. And now they've realized, oh, no one's going because no one cares about the new stuff as much. And no one cares about your own adventure without actually having, legitimate places, really well thought out in advance. You realize that with Star Wars Land itself, Galaxy's Edge, with Star Wars Land, which is pretty much what it is, you have so much potential. There are so many things that you can do. There's so much rich material in the movies. I would even say in the novels, which you decanonized for some stupid reason. Oh, and now we're going to make a new canon. Great! Glad to see the new canon's working out for you. I'm sure that Star Wars has never been more popular. Oh, wait. It's never been more unpopular. And this even includes the time of the prequels. And that's a pretty sad state to be in. But to have him add on to this discussion, right, to kind of close things up for today, for them to, or rather for Mark Hamill to once again, really in a lot of ways, I feel troll Disney. Here was saying that the best number, the best quote right here is him saying nothing in The Force Awakens. It reminds you, he was wasted in The Force Awakens. He was wasted in The Last Jedi, of course. And if rumors are to be true, he will continue to be wasted in Episode 9, where he'll be apparently coming back as a Force ghost in a Harry Potter-style-esque ending to help Rey defeat a very alive Palpatine. Now, whether or not that's true or not, giant grain of salt. We honestly don't know at this point. It could be one of many endings that they've tried to see how people are going to feel about it, and they very well could change it. But if everything we've seen thus far has been any indication, it's very likely, if indeed they're going to still try and keep to the mantra, kill the past if you have to, well then obviously you're going to continue to kill the fan base if you have to. But at the same time, if you think, oh, but now we're going to go back. Now we're going to take that back and say, no, the past is great. Let's bring back the old characters, right? Let's bring back Lando Calrissian. Let's bring back all the really cool things. Let's finally give some fan service out there. Well, guess what? It's a little too late for that. And if you didn't learn that with Solo: A Star Wars Story, you might learn it with Episode 9. Because Episode 9 is not looking to be the giant juggernaut that it should be. If this is truly the conclusion of the Skywalker saga, if this is truly the conclusion of everything that started from 1977 before you try and go off in a completely new direction, if this is what you think is the ending that people want to have, well, as Luke Skywalker himself said, this is not going to go the way that you think. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about all these things in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, smash the like button, give me a subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. I love you guys so much in all seriousness. If you want to support the channel, please check out my merch. You should see a banner with the Teespring merch. If you don't, it's going to be in the description of the video. Also, check out my affiliate links as well. If you shop on Amazon ever, it's great to use my link because I do get a small kickback from your purchases. I don't find out what you purchase, so don't worry. There is that sense of privacy still there, but I do get a little help from that. And also, I would recommend checking out Display. They've got awesome metallic posters, and I get a much bigger kickback from those. But they're pretty badass too. Those are the medium-sized posters. There are larges and extra larges. The larges are a regular size one sheet. If you've ever seen a movie poster before at a movie theater, for example, the regular size poster, that's the size of the large. So the extra large is even bigger than that. And they show you all the size comparisons on that website. So think about using Display. You get a 15% off if you use the promo code Odin, all lowercase, ODIN, Odin, and you get 15% off all your orders. And they always have specials going on where you can get even more off of your order and sometimes even free shipping itself. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.